In this tutorial, I'll go through the Project Explorer in LabVIEW and how to use it. So basically, when creating a LabVIEW application, you typically just select New VA and then start creating your front panel and your block diagram, and then you run your applications and are happy with that. But if you are planning to create a bit larger applications that consist of multiple VIs, etc., it's a good practice to use the so-called Project Explorer. And then instead of selecting New VI, then you select Create Project, and then this pops up, and then you typically select Blank Project, and then this Project Explorer pops up. If you have used Visual Studio, it's very similar to the Solution Explorer that you find in Visual Studio. Basically, you use the Project Explorer to have a good overview of your application. You can create folders and structure the different VIs in different folders. You can use it if you need to create executable applications, etc. Basically, using the Project Explorer is a good way to organize and structure your applications. So here you see an example where I have used the Project Explorer for one of my applications. Then I have created different folders. One, of course, it's up to you how do you want to structure your folders, but typically for larger applications I have a folder called main VI, which is the main VI. Then I can have a folder called sub VIs, where I put all my sub VIs. I can have a data folder where I have different files. I could have a folder called resources where I put images, etc. So basically, you can structure both your code files, your additional files like images, data files, etc. into different folders. You can also use the Project Explorer if you need to create an executable application. That means that you create an application that can be run without the LabVIEW environment. So then you just basically create an executable application that ends with a .exe, and then you can basically copy that application to another computer or send it on email or whatever, and then that person can run that application without having the entire LabVIEW programming installed on their computer. But they need to have the LabVIEW runtime environment, but that can be downloaded for free on the internet. You can also create installer packages, etc. That means that you can bundle your executable application together with the LabVIEW runtime, and when you create such an installer package, then you can give that installer package to another person, and then that person can just install your application and the LabVIEW runtime environment on their computer with a single click. So that's a good way if you need to give your application to other persons that don't have the LabVIEW environment. So here you see an example. Here on the build specification, I have created an application, and then I have specified a name for my application, in this case LabVIEW snake.exe, and then I can run this application independently of the LabVIEW programming environment. So let's go to LabVIEW and see how we can create this Project Explorer, and I will demonstrate different use of the Project Explorer. So then I have opened my LabVIEW programming environment, and then you have different options. Then if you just are going to create a basic LabVIEW application, just click New VI, and then you will get a front panel and a block diagram like this. But if you want to use the Project Explorer and create larger applications, then you can either select Create Project here, and then this Create Project window pops up, and then you have different options, including create a blank project. So that's one way. Another way is to go to File, and then you get the same here, Create Project. So this is the same as this option. And this Create Project window pops up, and then you just select Blank Project. You can also select File, New, with 3 dots like this. Select this one, and then you will get this one. Then you will get the new window, and then you have different options. Then you can select just project and empty project, click OK, and then this Project Explorer will pop up, and then you are ready to start include your applications, create your folders, etc. So basically, let's assume you have a folder here on your local computer. I just create a folder here on my C drive in a temporary folder. Just create a folder called example or something, and inside here I want to create my, sorry, that's wrong folder, example, this one. So here I want to create my LabVIEW files, so then I just save it, select the folder, and then I need to specify a name for my LabVIEW project. Just call it LabVIEW Example Project or something, and then these files extend have the LV project extension like this. So then I just click OK. So now this has been created here, the Project Explorer, and then you see the different files has been created on my hard drive as well. So then next I can start creating folders, VIs, etc. So let's start creating some folders. Either I can create a folder here directly from the Project Explorer, and I just right click on my computer, new. Then you have different options. Here I can create a new VI, and here under add I can create a folder, and then I just specify a name for my folder. I can have a folder called sub VIs like this, and then just type click here, and then you see the folder has been created here. But the best way, and the way I prefer, is to just use the File Explorer here in Windows, create a folder here. So then, assuming I want to have a folder called SubVI, then you just create here in your File Explorer in Windows, and then I just drag it to the Project Explorer under my computer like this. And then this SubVI folder has been part of the Project Explorer, and it's also located here in your File Explorer. That's the best way to create folders, and then you can start creating more folders. I could have a folder for main VI. I could have a folder for resources. I could have a folder for data, etc. And then when I have created them here on my File Explorer, I just drag them to the Project Explorer like this. Data, resources, VI, and the main VI like this. So now I have created the necessary folder that I typically create when creating an application. Then I can start creating my main VI. Then I just right click on the folder, a new VI, and then a new VI pops up. I start creating my application, save it, and then I want to put it in the main folder, and then I can name my application whatever I like, my LabVIEW application or whatever you're creating, like this, and then this pops up here, and then when my application is closed down, I can just double click here to open it. I can rename my application. I have some spelling mistake here, and I can rename my application. I can just call it LabVIEW application like this, click OK, and then the application has been renamed to that. And then also here, if I click to the main VI folder, then you see I have the same application here. So I can open the application from the Project Explorer. I can open it here from my File Explorer, etc. Let's create a sub-VI as well. So then new VI. I save it in the correct folder, sub-VI. I just name it sub-VI1, just to illustrate the principle. And then you see it has been created here in the sub-VIs folder. If I go to the sub-VIs folder here, also in the File Explorer in Windows, you see the file here. And then I want to open them. I can just double click here for sub-VI and my main application, etc. This is basically how you use the Project Explorer as part of your LabVIEW programming. Then you can use this build specification. Then you have different options. So I just right click here on the build specification. Then you have new. You can create an executable application. You can create an installer. You can create a zip file, etc. So here you have lots of options. Typically, the most used one is to create an executable application. So then I just select this one. And then this wizard for creating your application is popping up. It takes a couple of seconds. And here you see it, my application properties. Then you specify a name for the application here in the target file name. A destination folder. Here on the source files, you just select your main VI and just click on this one. So this is the startup VI. And then you have lots of different options. You can create a specific icon, either finding an icon on the internet, or if you have created an icon on your own in another application, then you just deselect this one and go to my computer and select the file that you have on your hard drive. Or you can use the icon editor to create an icon here directly in the LabVIEW programming environment. And you have also lots of different options here. You can select different version history. You can also include the runtime engine, etc. So basically, this is used when you want to create an executable application of your LabVIEW application. Finally, let's take a look at an existing application I have created using this Project Explorer. So then I just close this one, and then open my application here on the File Explorer. I have made a basic snake application, and then I have used the Project Explorer, and then I have the snake.lv project file, which I just double click to open. And then the Project Explorer will be opened in the LabVIEW programming environment. Take a few seconds to open it, and now you see here I have my Project Explorer, and here I have my physical files on inside the File Explorer in Windows. So this is the main file that you need to open. Here I have structured my code into different folders: data, main VI, resources, sub-VIs, etc. And then you see the same folders here in the Project Explorer. Let's start with the main VI. This is the main application. It's a snake application, so I can just run it by clicking this one, click exit. And then I have used the so-called state machine in order to program my application. So here a state machine consists of a while loop, a case structure, and an event structure like this. So this is the main application I have. In order to create that application, created and used a lot of sub-VIs, which I put in this folder. And in order to open one of them, I just double click on them like this in order to open that specific VI. Under data, I have some different files that I need in my application. Under resources, I have some images that I'm using in order to create this executable application, etc. And then here under build specification, I have created an executable application, an installer, And I have also created a so-called source distribution. So let's click on the application, this executable application. So then this window pops up, and then here, this is the name of my application, LabVIEW snake.exe. Here is the file of the destination where, when I'm creating build here, the executable application will be put into this location. On the source file, I have made my main VI as a starter VI. I have, in addition, some files here under data that I have put in always included. This is those. So I just select the file and click either as a starter VI or here always included. Then I have different here icon. Here I have found an icon on the internet that I put and used here in the icon settings. And here on the runtime, you can include the runtime if you need, etc. But basically, the most important part here is the name of your application and specify the startup VI. And then when you've done that, you can either click build here or OK, and then just right click and click build here. And now I will build my executable application, and then you see the build for the executable application has been put in C, temp, LabVIEW snake, LabVIEW snake. Click done, and then I will just open that location on my hard drive. Then I have the temp folder. Of course, you can use any kind of folder, and LabVIEW snake, and then here the executable application has been created, and then I can just double click on LabVIEW snake exe, and then my application will run without the LabVIEW programming environment. And when I just click exit here, the entire application will close. So basically, if you need to have a good structure of your application, use the Project Explorer. And if you need to create an executable application, you should also use the Project Explorer. In addition, I also created an installer. So basically, you just right click on build specification and then select installer, new installer. But I have already made it, so I just double click on this one. Takes a few seconds to open the window. So here is the installer properties windows, and then you have different options here. You can create a folder in the start menu. You specify the source files, which is the LabVIEW snake exe application. You can also specify different information here, version history, etc. And here LabVIEW automatically selects the proper LabVIEW runtime that is needed to be included as part of your installer. So then basically you either click build here directly or OK, and then you can just right click here to click build, and then your installer will be created in the folder that you have selected. Takes a few seconds, and then when it's finished, it says which folder the installer has been put into, which you of course decide when you create your installer. So then in C, temp, LabVIEW snake setup. Done, and then I'll just locate this folder, LabVIEW snake setup, and then here the installer package has been created, and basically just zip this folder and send it on email or whatever to the person that wants to use this application, or if you want to install your application on another computer, just put it on a zip file, on a memory stick or whatever, and then then you have it located on the computer you want to install it, and you just double click on install LabVIEW Snake, and then the executable application and the LabVIEW runtime will be installed on that application, and then you can use your application without having the LabVIEW have the LabVIEW programming environment installed on that specific computer. So that's all. So make sure to use the Project Explorer next time you create your LabVIEW application. You can use it to structure your code in different folders. You can create executable applications, etc. Thank you and goodbye.